What's up, nerds? I'm the captain. This is Nerd Talk. Did you know we can already identify UFOs already out there? Their speed, their size, and their kind of abilities based off of eyewitness accounts through the past. Back off! I'm doing this one. Now that that's taken care of, we're going to be looking at 3 separate UFO events to legitimize what makes these UFO events separate from everybody else. We're looking at a few criterias. One being the amount of mass of people that witnessed this, that all said the same thing, like it did this, it was this size, so on and so forth. For that one, it is the Phoenix Lights. But that one also has the second criteria, is a conspiracy of a cover-up due to the United States. The second one we're going to be looking at is the Tic Tac video. That one is solely based off of the fact that we got video evidence, very clear as day, and it was also partially covered up by the U.S. government for a long period of time until it was declassified. And for the third, it's going to be Skinwalker Ranch. Almost entirely due to the fact that the Pentagon is interested in Skinwalker Ranch to the point that they have sent someone down there to work with the crews on the tests that they're doing and stuff. We actually did a whole video on Skinwalker Ranch. If you want to go to the page, you can go and find it. It was very detailed on what they do with Skinwalker Ranch. We are going to be glossing over it, but we're not going as deep as detailed as we did in that video. I highly suggest you go check it out. So, on to the first category. The Phoenix Lights. This was just so massive. Everybody in Phoenix saw it and was taking photos. Now, when you see this, you might think, well, there's a bunch of spaceships lined up in a row. It's one. That is one spaceship, I might add you. People reported that when they drove under it at 80 miles an hour, it took 2 minutes to get to the other side. That puts it at a square almost 2 miles long. Quite frankly, a little longer than 2 miles long, just from tip to tip. They also described when you stood directly underneath this thing, it was translucent. It was like looking through water going through it. So therefore, we can actually use the Phoenix Lights to say that their ships are not only 2 miles long, but they are also in the capability of translucent whatever, camouflage, or like in the Marvel movies where they're able to hit a button and the ships use the panels to make it look invisible. This is invisible. The only thing you see is the lights. They're like headlights or pilot lights. Why their lights were on, I don't know. But this right here is evidence that they have such technology. And another thing to note, we can't get even remotely close to that size, nor the capability of translucent camouflage of any sort. So that right there is a sample of what they can do. The next on the list, Tic Tac. Given its name for its infamous Tic Tac shape, it looks like it flies without any propulsion systems whatsoever. Here's a little clip of its actual path it took when evading this F-16.
It didn't have a turn radius that we would expect. It didn't have a period to accelerate and decelerate. It just seemed to zip so quickly that
So the way this Tic Tac was able to just make bullet right-hand turns, stop, and then immediately accelerate again with just zero sign of any sort of propulsions or whatnot. Up, down, left, right. It was unimaginable to us as human beings because we can't do anything like that. This is another instance where we can say that aliens have this technology and they can apply it to whatever ships they have. Now, Skinwalker Ranch. Again, much more detail in another video. But to give the highlights, their ships that they've seen had managed to fly within blinks of an eye speed. But the one that is most notable is the sound. they were able to figure out that if you play a certain frequency, I can't remember off the top of my head what the frequency was, it somehow altered the path for which the UFOs flew. It would do all kinds of weird things depending on what frequencies they played over the area for which they were having most encounters, implying for which that these things react on sound waves. They communicate through sound waves. Maybe these UFOs are unmanned. They're just drones, and we're figuring out with the sound waves, we're actually screwing with their radio signals and giving them false ones. Who knows? But all this being said, now that we know UFOs are real, now that we know from the government, everybody else saying they're real, we now need to focus. What are they? What are they capable of? And how can we either learn to aspire to become with them in the stars or prepare for when they come down to attack? As always, please tell me what you guys think. Do you think we should be looking at these eyewitness accounts and taking notes? Do we think we're going to be invaded, or should we go to the stars and invade them? As always, I'm the Captain. This is Nerd Talk. Like, follow, and subscribe.
From outer space, and I find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock, or made you leave your key. If I'd have known for a second